This is the story of the miracle of Saint John Paul II, recognized by the Vatican, which paved the way for his canonization. In 2011, in Costa Rica, a woman named Floribeth Mora Díaz received a serious diagnosis, a brain aneurysm that could not be operated on. At that moment, her faith and the intercession of John Paul II would be put to the test. It all began on April 8, 2011, when Floribeth felt a severe headache accompanied by dizziness and weakness on the left side of her body. After seeing several doctors, tests revealed an aneurysm in a brain artery with an imminent risk of rupture, which would be fatal, perhaps within 5 minutes, perhaps within a month. The doctors were clear: there was no treatment available in Costa Rica for that case, and even procedures in other countries would have low success. She was discharged from the hospital with instructions to rest at home and follow palliative care. Back home, Floribeth lived with physical limitations and the burden of an uncertain prognosis. Her husband, Edwin, was closely present, trying to encourage her and support her in her daily care. Together, they continued to pray, asking God for the strength to face her situation. Floribeth had a special devotion to John Paul II, whom she had often asked to intercede for her health. In the early hours of May 1, 2011, the Feast of Divine Mercy, Floribeth woke up to watch the beatification of John Paul II on television, celebrated by Benedict XVI. The next day, alone in her room, she had a very powerful experience. She heard herself called to get up and not be afraid. Little by little, she realized that she no longer felt the same weakness and fear that had characterized her last few days. She described this experience as an inner peace and renewed confidence. As the days and weeks passed, Floribeth began to return to her routine and feel increasingly better. In July 2011, a relic of John Paul II arrived at the Church of Paradise in Cartago. Even though she arrived late, the priest invited her inside to see the relic. The pamphlet contained the same words she had heard before: "Do not be afraid." When she returned to the hospital in November for follow-up exams, the doctors were surprised. There were no more signs of the aneurysm. The neurosurgeon in charge of her care even stated that there was no medical explanation for what had happened. Convinced that it was a grace received through the intercession of John Paul II, Floribeth decided to share her testimony with the world. This came to the attention of those responsible for the canonization process, who requested that she submit further tests and travel to Rome for further examinations. Floribeth's healing was officially recognized as the miracle necessary for the canonization of John Paul II. In April 2014, she was present in St. Peter's Square. Peter's Square to thank God and witness the canonization of the man she always considered a friend of heaven. Floribeth's miracle is an invitation to hope and trust in God, even in the most difficult moments. And it reminds us that holiness continues to bear fruit in the life of the Church. May St. John Paul II continue to intercede for all of us, helping us to live with faith and courage each day of our lives.